Hi, everybody. My name is Jared Wade. I'm the Communications Director for the town of Avon. And today for our live at lunch, it's actually a little bit before lunch.
A little bit.
It's early. It's 11 o'clock. It's okay. Live at pre-lunch, I am sitting with Daniel Lorentz. He is our GIS planner and code enforcement agent extraordinaire. He has your degree is in GIS, isn't it? Like,
It is, yes.
What school did you go to for that?
I went to San Diego State University, and I studied geography there with the emphasis in GIS, which is Geographic Information Science.
Okay, so I know all about GIS. Sarcasm inserted here. But for those that don't know what GIS is, or what that graphic information is for the town, it wasn't information, it was graphic something else.
Geographic Information Science.
See,
systems.
That's why he's over all the GIS stuff. How does that impact the town, or how does the town use the GIS system?
Sure, there's lots of different things we need to map out. For instance, our zoning map, or our pipes, our infrastructure, our streets. All these things have a spatial component, and they have data tied to it. So I'm the one who keeps track of all that information.
And there's a lot to it.
There is a lot to it.
I've looked over your shoulder a few times when you're working on things, and it's really, to put it in layman's terms, it's like a really advanced Google Maps system where there's like multiple layers and there's a lot of integrated information. I'm oversimplifying it, of course, but it's like if Adobe met Google and they kind of had this powerhouse infrastructure software. That's what this GIS system is.
That's right. And there's even simple things we can do, which is what we're going to show you today, which is a dashboard that I created that kind of shows what are the current construction projects going on in town, and what are the cases that the planning staff are currently reviewing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy it. We've been talking about doing some sort of a walkthrough demonstration for a while. And before we jump into it feet first, you briefly talked about the why. You talked about, hey, this is why we're doing this, or what you can do with it. But can you expand a bit more about why you designed this, and what the goal and the purpose and the desire of it is?
Yeah, the main point of this dashboard is to bring to the public what is going on with the construction in the town, and what is before the Plan Commission and before the Board of Zoning Appeals, and to give kind of some context as to the plans. So there's actually pictures of plans in here, and you can see the locations of where they're being proposed. So it's really for public information, I would say.
It's increasing that transparency. It's letting people know, hey, this is what's happening. This is what's going on within your community. Here's what's going on around the corner. Here's what's been approved. Here's what's on the docket to, go before the Plan Commission or BZA or anybody like that. So again, this is Daniel's expertise. This is his world. I just want to offer a connection, a point where he can share with everybody out there. So let's jump into it. I'm going to go ahead and share Daniel's screen. Now, if you want to, you can follow along on your own computer. You can do this easily by going to avongov.org/planning dashboard. And I'll put it in the little scroller down below while Daniel starts going through things here. But again, it's avongov.org/planning dashboard. Daniel, it is your show. Walk us through what this thing can do.
All right, so when you first open it, you might get a little overwhelmed. There's kind of a lot of things going on here, but really you're going to separate this into 3 separate parts. So on the left, you have 2 lists here. One list in red is for planning. So this list kind of shows what are the current cases that have not been approved quite yet, but are in the planning process. And you can see they're outlined in red, and you can see the corresponding on the map. There are some red areas that these correspond to. You see there's 8 cases here. And below that is what I call projects. So these are the ones that have been approved or are currently under construction. And there's a list of about 30 here. And they're in alphabetical order for easy access. These lists will directly integrate to the map here. So if I click here on, say, Avon Retail Center, it will zoom directly onto the map, and you can see the location. And then on the right, we have kind of a detail card here, which gives you some information. Here's the case number, DPR 2207. You can see some information about the applicant. You can open up some pictures, some site plans. That's not going to open because this is the tab that's being screen shared, but
it's okay. So if they were to click on that, it would basically open up another web browser or another tab with a more detailed view of that image.
Exactly. Yeah, gotcha. You'll be able to open that in the full screen tab.
So you can get a nice, good, clear, close look at everything that we have on file.
Correct.
Perfect. By the way, as you're watching this, if you're watching this live with us and you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop your questions in the chat if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn. If you're watching this on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube and you have questions, drop it in the chat and we'll do our very best to answer as many of those questions as possible. Keep going, Daniel. Sorry, just want to make sure everybody knew that that was very, very much an okay thing to do.
Sure, no worries. And so I also have a little write-up, very basic information. This is a request to construct a 16,650 square foot strip retail center. And then you got a town contact that you can reach out to and ask any further questions that you have. So when I'm done looking at this, I will go back to the list over here and unselect, and it'll take me back to the full screen map.
And that works the same way for projects as it does for planning.
Yes.
You want to look at a project so that Andy Moore Kia, if you were to click on that, it would do the same thing. You click on it,
zoom straight into it, and you can see it's highlighted in pink for a couple seconds. The label doesn't quite show up just because of how skinny it is, but it will be the one front and center on your map. And then you can find that in the project card, which is pretty much identical to this planning card, but just for the projects.
Sure.
And they're all color coded. Blue is associated with projects and red is associated with the planning.
Okay.
There's a couple other things you can do. You don't have to go directly into this list, for example. You can also go on the map and find maybe one you're interested. Maybe I'm interested in Reagan Logistics Park Building B. So I can click on that, but unfortunately that won't update the projects card, but it will tell you it gives you pictures and it'll tell you to select it from the list. So you're going to want to scroll down to R, Reagan Logistics Park Building B. And then it will highlight that and your information will be filtered here on this card.
Nice. So is there anything that I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Sure.
Like, what are some features that you would love to be able to implement in the future? Not saying that it's going to happen, but things that you think would be advantageous for the community, advantageous for the system to be able to do.
Maybe a search bar or something would be nice. Maybe a little more detail to it. It's pretty light on the details. So maybe as we get more into it, we can add something like to change instead of, so our base map here is very simple. Maybe a base map changer that you can put up satellite imagery, things like that.
Sure.
Perhaps.
So, and that's something that you as the public can be aware of as well, is if you're an active individual within the community and you want to know what's going on in the town, you want to be a part of what's happening in planning as well as projects that are in development, and you access this planning dashboard frequently, Daniel is your go-to guy. If there are ideas that you have, if there are thoughts that you have, I know Daniel very well, and he's very open to hearing feedback and hearing thoughts and hearing from the community. So the best thing for you to do, I would assume, is email you. Send
Absolutely.
you an email Daniel. His contact information is on our website, avongov.org. You can email him directly and say, hey, I was checking out the dashboard. It would be cool if it could do X, Y, or Z. And who knows, Daniel might say, oh, that's easy, I can do that tomorrow. Or he might say, hey, that's currently still in development. We're working on it, but thanks for letting us know. Getting that feedback is always extremely key for improving things that we already provide. So hearing back from the community is very, very advantageous. So, okay, so this is a desktop view.
Yes.
Now, as you're aware, and so am I, most people access our website. They access really anything online via a mobile device. Can you walk us through what the mobile device looks like? Because it's a little bit different.
Right. Yeah, this software is really geared towards a desktop, but it is still functional in mobile. Probably the best thing you could do on mobile. This is how it would look. I'm just going to select this and unselect it so we have nothing selected.
Okay, so basically what you're looking at, what everybody's looking at right now, is kind of what it would look like if you were on your mobile device and you went to avongov.org/planning dashboard. What you're seeing right now is pretty much what would pop up on your phone.
Yes,
Gotcha.
Pretty much.
Which it looks very different. It
does look quite different, doesn't it?
I don't have the camera on right now, but you can see Daniel's face going, yes, it does. I think we all would like for this to be a bit more mobily intuitive, if you will.
Sure.
And I know that's on the roadmap. That's something that we would like to have happen down the road. But right now, it's okay because you can still navigate it. You would show me this not too long ago. How does the community use the mobile version? What's the difference?
So I think so all these cards are expandable. So if you hover over it, you'll see this kind of expand icon on any of the elements. I think one of the easiest ways is to you can click expand on the detailed information. As long as you have nothing selected on this list, everything should be available to you with these arrows. So you can kind of cycle through the plans here and see the information. But if you're looking for something specific, you can also expand the projects and select and then unexpand and re-expand the card, if that makes sense.
So it's actually a bit more advantageous for the community to figure out, it's really boiling down to, is it in planning or is it in projects, like active projects that are being worked on? And if you know it's in one of those two, from a mobile device, at least right now, it's most advantageous then to just jump into projects or jump into planning. And then you can kind of scroll through and cycle through to figure out, oh, there's the one that I'm looking for.
Yeah, that would be the easiest way to do it if you're looking for a specific project in town.
Okay, definitely. And that's where your wish list item of a search would be super handy, because then they could just put in the DPR number, they could search it by what they're looking for, and then it would find whatever it's looking for.
Yeah, that would be a good feature to add. I like that, Jared.
If GIS, if you are watching, which we know they are, because they watch everything we do, at least live streams, they'll make it happen. I have a good feeling they're gonna make it happen. Daniel, anything else you want to tell the community about in regards to the planning dashboard that you've designed and developed?
I guess I am always this is something, the line of work that I am involved in. So from the community, it might come across differently than it comes across to me. So I'm definitely open for any feedback, any things that you think would make this better. I'd love to hear it and try to implement some of those ideas.
Yeah. Daniel's a good guy. He's always working on something. Literally right before we started this live stream, our town manager, Ryan Cannon, popped in and said, hey, I need you to do a couple things and remap some stuff out and help me out with some things. He's a very valuable asset to the team here at the town. And I know that the planning department uses his vast experience and knowledge to their benefit, because there's all kinds of stuff that he's doing over there for everybody. Everybody really comes to Daniel at some point in time and says, hey, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? I've done that. And I'm in a completely different world, but this is so cool. And we're so excited that you were able to design it for not only us to be able to use, but for the community to use as well. So
yeah, I'm excited about it.
Good. Daniel, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you being here. If you have questions, if you have insight that you want to share with Daniel, reach out to him via email. Contact information is on the website. You can just look up Daniel, or his email is dlorentz, DLORENTZ @avongov.org. He has a Z in his last name, so I just have to remember that Z right there. You can email him directly, or you can pop in here to Town Hall Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Last night was fantastic. If you went out to National Night Out, we appreciate you coming out there and celebrating. Hopefully we'll be back with another Live at Lunch at some point in time. Let me know what you would like to learn more about in the town. If it's about planning or building or administrative or anything in between, public works, that's what these Live at Lunches are all about, is to educate and inform and give you a better insight into what is going on here at Town Hall. All right. Thank you so much. Be safe, be well, and we will see you soon.